Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel for this week's video. Alright, so for this week's video, I'm going to take you guys through basically my evening routine. After I get home from work and ride, this is what I do. This is all the animals that I own and how I take care of them every evening. So first things first, I check the horse's water. I dump it out and rinse it out and put fresh water in it every couple of days, which I need to do today. And then I actually scrub it weekly, but that I usually do on the weekends. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, I'm gonna try and dump this out. Holding the phone. Gidget did not like that. But anyway, like all that gunk at the bottom, we're gonna go ahead and get that rinsed out. Now that it's cleaned out, we'll tip it back up, place it back where it needs to be, which I do have little wood pegs underneath it to keep it level because it doesn't sit level, but they're under there. Okay, now that that's done, I'll just turn this on and just leave it to fill up. Sorry, I have my fingers all over the camera. It's hard to do it with one hand. I was gonna use my GoPro, but I forgot to charge it, so whoops. What is it, Chevelle? Okay, next I'm gonna fill this up with hot water for the horses. So gotta turn it on and wait for it to get hot, which will take a minute because the hose is on. And Chevelle's gonna be nosy, as always. As always. Alright, once it's warm, which it is, I'll stick this underneath and I just wait for it to fill up. And while I'm waiting for that to fill up, I'll make bowls for the two dogs. So Chris has a white German Shepherd named Ghost, and then I have an Irish Wolfhound named Falcor. So they get this Purina high protein. Falcor will get a cup and a half, and Ghost will get a cup. And usually about that time my water is done. Alright, so once that's full, I bring it outside, bring Falcor and Ghost bowls outside, back. And then they have to behave themselves to get their food. Sit. Falcor, sit. Sit. Sit down. Of course he's gonna be a pill today. Sit. Go, Ghost. Go. There we go. that's them, and then they'll eat their food, and I will pick up their bowls on my way back in while the horses are eating. So I'm going to take that out, and we will go to the feed room now. Hello. Hello. Alright, so once we get into the feed room, I just set the water on the floor, out of the way. And then we have, this is Yo-Yo's bucket. Please excuse them being nasty. They do get cleaned once a week, but that has not been yet. It's usually, again, on the weekends that I will, like, scrub down the buckets. But we have Jolene, Gidget, and Yo-Yo. Gidget's is different because she likes to knock it down because she's difficult. But in here, we have Gidget and Jolene's feed. It's basically a ration balancer that we get from an Amish feed mill. And so each one of them will get a quart of that. And it's, like I said, it's just basically a ration balancer, gets them their essential vitamins and minerals, and then it's 12% protein, which they're air ferns, so they don't need much at all. Whereas Yo-Yo, his feed is in here, and he gets the Smart Edge high fat, because where he's older now, it's a little harder to keep weight on him. I actually just switched him to this because he was not liking his other feed as much. So he gets a Humongo heaping scoop. And like, they get fed twice a day. This is just their evening feed. But they get that. And then we will go in and pour water and soak everyone's feed. I'm gonna try to do that with my phone in my hand. We'll see how well that goes for me. So there's that. I'll just set that there. And then I like to shake it a little bit to make sure that it's all getting wet. And their feed, the girls' feed, gets wet and soaks really, really quick. Whereas Yo-Yo's tends to take a minute to really set, which is perfect because that gives me time to do supplements. So this is Yo-Yo's Piroxicam, which is because he has cancer. But he's out right now, actually, and I need to get him more. And then this is, it's basically Equiox, same thing, so it's for arthritis. Gidget gets one once a week, and then Yo-Yo gets one pretty much like every 3 days. Neither one of them gets it today, but they do get it. And then this is Mare Magic. It's for Jolene at shows only and competitions only because she gets a little spastic, and it kind of helps take the edge off and chill her out a little bit. The first supplement we have is, because we live in the woods, it's this fly and tick supplement, and it's supposed to help keep ticks and flies off of them and from biting them. And so far, I haven't found any ticks on any of them since starting this. They still have flies, but it's definitely helped with the ticks. So for that alone, I will go ahead and continue it. They get half a scoop once a day. And they also get all their supplements at night only. They do not get them in the morning. Just at night. Next is MSM. It's a joint supplement. Just to keep the joints nice and lubricated. Everybody gets a big scoop of that. There's a little and a big scoop, and so everybody gets the big scoop once a day. Okay. And then last but not least is Ulcerade. And this is more of like, they don't need it necessarily, but I use it as like a preventative. I could just use it at shows just to help keep them less stressed and keep their bellies happy. But I do it all the time just so that way it's in their system when we go to shows. And again, 1 big scoop each. And this stuff smells really good for some reason. Okay. And then that's all for supplements. So now we're gonna put the ponies in their stalls and give them their feed. And they like to hang out and say hi and help, don't you? Yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure why, but my phone recorded the next couple videos with no sound. I'm not sure why, but that's all right. We'll do a voiceover. So Gidge goes into her stall first, and then Jolene goes in. And then next in will be Yo-Yo. And then I'll give everybody their buckets, give Yo-Yo his, give Jolene hers, and then I will give Gidget hers. And she is super, super, super pushy, so I actually make her sit there and wait for a second and be patient, because she like engulfs her feed if I don't make her sit there and think about herself and wait. And she is a pawer, she likes to paw. Then I will go ahead and pick up the dog bowls, give the cats a little bit of attention because of course they're sitting there and they clearly need some loving. This is Panda. He actually just showed up one day. And then this is Smoke. We found him in a road, in the middle of the road, in the pouring rain. So of course we had to pick up that cute little face. So next I'll go ahead and I dump out their water because it's nasty and been sitting out in the heat all day. So it gets dumped out and they will get fresh. And then I'll go ahead and grab their food bowls here in a minute. Of course, gotta give the cats a little more attention. If you see Panda limping around, I promise you that's not from us. We assume that he was dumped, maybe tossed out of a car, and his shoulder's messed up. So, not sure what happened to him, but he's happy, he's comfortable. This is Chevelle. This is our only female cat. And then this is Rebel. We adopted him from the Humane Society when he was a kitten. Chevelle was also found in the road. Chris was driving home one day, dude in front of him chucked a box out in front of him, and sure enough, there was a cat in there. There was Chevelle. So I'm dumping, rinsing their water, and refilling it. I would usually fill up their bowls at this point, but their bowls were already full. So now I'm just filling up Panda's bowl, and then I will fill up Smoke's bowl. Making a mess in the process is obviously a requirement. And then I'll give Rebel and Chevelle their little bit of canned food. They don't get a whole can, they don't get half a can, they just get kind of a little spoonful out just to satisfy them. And then I will make Rebel and Chevelle sit and wait for their food, because Rebel is super impatient and will get all up in your face. So I had to teach him to wait and to sit. And then whenever I step out of the way, he is allowed to jump up. Chevelle has to sit also, and she's weird. She waits for me to pick her up, which, I mean, at least she's not being pushy. So that's feeding them. And now I will give Smoke his little bit of canned food. And I was at the end of this can, so I just went ahead and gave him the rest of it. And back out we go. Give Panda his food, give him a little scratch. And then sometimes Smoke will go ahead and jump up into the doghouse himself. But today he did not, so I apologize it's so dark and it's hard to see. But I set his bowl in there, and then I will pick him up and put him in there. And he goes in there because Panda is really nosy, and Panda will come and try to steal his food. So I have to feed him separately. Now I am just refilling their water bowls, making sure that they have nice cold and fresh water to drink out of. And it helps that Panda has his food, so he kind of stays out of those bowls for me. So usually right now, after I've fed the dogs and I've fed the cats, while the horses are finishing up, aka Yo-Yo is finishing up, the girls eat in like 2 minutes, and then he takes like 10, which is fine. But usually, like in this little downtime while I'm still waiting for him, I'll throw hay out. But we just got a brand new round bale today, so I don't have to do that. That's just better for us because it's a little cheaper, and then they can eat 24/7. I don't have to worry about, do they have enough hay? They just, if they want grass, they can eat grass. If they want hay, they can eat hay. It's available. So, works out great for us. And they like them, so. All right, horse's water is full, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Now, before I turn the hose off, I'm gonna go ahead and fill up the dog's water. He loves to lick and drink out of it while it's filling up for some reason. He's just special. After I turn off the water, I always like to release the pressure. Rather not bust a water pipe. And then all that's left to do is just let the horses out. Okay, pick up buckets. Get Jolene's first because Yo-Yo's goes inside of hers. Pick up his. And then he always picks up all the food that he eats off the ground, and sometimes he'll like pick up rocks. And so I have to always bang out his bucket just so that way there's no rocks in it the next time he goes to eat out of it. There goes Jolene and then Yo-Yo. That way they can breathe and there's air in between them. Gidget's bucket grabbed and set it in there. Go ahead and close up the feed room. And then the girls are mean to Yo-Yo, so I always let him out first. So that way he can get away from them. Typical mares, I know. Boy. Okay, and then next I'll let out Miss Pushy Pants, but again, she has to wait before she can just exit. She has to stand there and she has to look away. Like that. And then she gets to go. She'll usually go clean up Yo-Yo's mess that he likes to make. And then last but not least is Jolene. Not for any particular... Sorry, my phone cut out and said that my storage is full, so I deleted some stuff. But I just let Jolene out, and then that's it. That's all feeding. Gidget's gonna clean up Yo-Yo's mess. Yo-Yo and Jolene are probably already at the hay. Yo-Yo's gone and gotten a drink. So that's it. That's all of my animals taken care of. That's my evening routine. Simple, but it does take a minute to get it all done. But I love all of my animals, so I'm more than happy to take care of them morning and night. So I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys are so cute.